When I pull up on a hater, watch a hater fall back. I'm too good with these hands, watch a hater fall back.
What up, T-Lo, for the Parley here on ParlayShow.com and all of our social media networks. Before I do my normal spiel, though, how you feeling this morning, KG? You good?
I'm feeling well, man. I'm feeling well.
You sure?
Listen, you got to learn how to win like a champion and lose like a champion.
With that said, welcome to the Parley. Don't forget to visit our social media, description in the box, all that stuff. Follow us, man. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We all there. We're always talking. We love the feedback as always, and we see the comments, y'all. We see the comments. We watch them. Okay, but welcome into the Parley. Saturday night in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the T-Mobile Arena. Kendall Gill. I just want to make sure we start this segment off by just saying it was honorable that you stood behind your guy like you should. But I was right.
You were right.
I was right.
Hey, listen,
hold on, wait.
Right.
I was right, baby.
You were right. Okay, I give it to you now.
It.
You were right. However, thing about it is Deontay Wilder came out. He fought the right game plan for the first 2 or 3 rounds. He did. He went to the body, like I said he should have gone to, right?
Right.
But when he got tired in the 3rd round, he abandoned everything and went back to what he really is, a puncher, and just relied on the 1-2. And coupled with, he came in at the highest ever, 238 pounds. That's a lot of weight to carry around when you're not used to carrying that weight around for 12 rounds. It takes a lot of oxygen to put in those muscles to make them go. Then you got this 6'9", 277-pound behemoth leaning on you and punching you. And, you know, to me, if the weight discrepancy wasn't so great from the first time he fought him to the 3rd fight, I think, you know, Deontay could have made it through that fight, you know, not exhausted after the 3rd round. Yeah,
absolutely. And you're absolutely right. He came out, you predicted it, straight to the body. As soon as before the bell sounded, you told me exactly what was going to happen, and it started happening. So he came out with the right game plan. I just saw, and we talked about this a little bit in our reaction video, I saw Deontay still throwing, but also just not having the skill, not working on the skill. And maybe it was the size of Tyson Fury, because a big dude, so I get it. But when he was throwing those shots to the body, you seen him. He was like off balance, and you know, he was reaching, and yeah, he was doing his thing, but it didn't look sharp. It didn't look like it was something he was he worked on in training camp, but he still didn't look sharp.
Yeah,
I mean, can you agree? I mean, he was throwing to the body, but he didn't look sharp.
It's hard to throw. I thought he looked sharp in the 1st round. After the 1st round, I didn't think he looked sharp.
Okay.
I go back to Cannon Briggs, former heavyweight champion. I saw his post after the fight. He said that Deontay spent all his money at the club in the 1st round, which he did. He spent all of his money because in the 2nd round, I saw that look in his eyes again, you know, the way he was tired. And I definitely think it's because of the weight that he's carrying into the ring. Also, Deontay Wilder does not do road work. Or it's been rumored that he hasn't done road work. And I've seen him say in interviews that I don't do road work. I don't know whether he did it for this camp or not. However, it was definitely apparent that his cardio just was not there. Yeah. Amongst other things too, because I felt that his defense was non-existent. I felt that Tyson Fury came in with the same game plan as he did in the 2nd fight. What'd I tell you? Left hook, right hand.
And smother.
That's all he was doing. And Deontay continued, once again, to hold his hands out like this, not put his hands up. And you know, it also goes back to me, you know, I know Malik Scott is a world-class fighter.
Yeah.
Knows a lot about the sweet science, but you gotta have a defensive aspect to your game too. It just can't be all offense.
And we don't, and you know, we only see what's posted on social media. Yeah. So every video that Deontay was posting or anybody else was posting, it was Deontay working on some pads. You know,
it was, yeah.
And he looked nice. He looked nice.
And he worked on a slip, but I didn't see any of that in this fight.
Yeah, no, that all that went out. And I told you even before the fight, like that looked pretty, but somebody in front of you, let's see how it looks. then, you know, and
It's
see how
totally
that looks then.
different, yeah. It's
and
totally different.
like you said, 6'9", 277-pounder just right in front of you, smothering you. The game plan is going to change. But sticking on that, in regards to Deontay and his defense, you know, you cannot win without defense in this sport, man. I mean, in any sport.
Not at the top level.
But at the top level, I mean, we saw Deontay defending like this.
Yeah.
Like just,
And pulling
he got knocked out like that.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid a punch
and pulling
like this.
straight back and, you know, leaving himself open, not being defensively responsible. You remember, I forget which knockdown it was. I think it was the second knockdown where Deontay went to the body and came up with a hook. And Tyson Fury ducked it, great defensive move, but Deontay left the whole left side of his face open instead of putting his hand back up here. You know a shot is coming.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that one is you know, being drilled with the repetitions and also fatigue. I think Deontay, I mean, you got to give it to Deontay. He gutted it out, showed championship hard from the 3rd round to the 11th.
Yeah.
Because he was exhausted, man. He made it there just strictly on pure heart.
Yeah, we talk about Deontay and his defense and the flaws that he had. I mean, he was exhausted from round 3 forward, and the game plan had changed. It was literally hit and survive. That's at that point, I think, for Deontay. It wasn't winning off points. He already knew he was going to be smothered, and it was going to be a hard fight.
Right.
But, you know, we look at that, and we look at Deontay now and say, yeah, like, if you don't know it by now, then are you ever going to figure it out? You know, and at this point in his career, who knows? I think it's over with. But props to Deontay Wilder, before I go to Tyson, showed so much heart. The fact that you even knocked him down twice.
Right.
Fatigued. Hurt. Is just so it's respectable, it's commendable. I got total praise for that boy. I mean, he showed out, you know, in turmoil. So
he did.
Deontay did his thing. But the number 1 heavyweight in the world is Tyson Fury. And there is no questions about it. The man is at the top of the division. And honestly, I don't think anybody can beat him right now. That's just my opinion. And if we go down the list of heavyweights, we're looking at Dylan White, which is already a question that's been asked, has 1 loss in his career. He's a guy that can be almost like a step up for Tyson again, or maybe one of those mid fights before the mega fight. Even though it could do millions and it will sell pay-per-view, because of course, you know, England and the British will sell out the Wembley Arena. Anthony Joshua is one if he can win this rematch with Usyk. Usyk is a guy who would be an interesting fight. Right. And then you have, of course, Deontay if they ever wanted to do a 4th fight.
Yeah, I doubt whether a 4th fight happens unless Tyson Fury retires and Deontay somehow wins all the belts back again, and Tyson Fury wants to come back and reclaim the belts. That's the only way that fight happens. But like Tyson Fury said, I think Deontay Wilder is the 2nd best heavyweight in the world. He said he can beat everybody except for me, and that may be true. Styles make fights. Yeah. I don't think Anthony Joshua will ever beat Alexander Usyk.
And I forgot Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz as well. But I think where Tyson goes from here, he's gonna wait until Alexander Usyk and Joshua fight again and fight the winner of that fight.
Yeah. And
you know, then you'll have a unanimous heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Undisputed. And I think that's his next goal. And then after that, he may retire and give all the belts up.
Yeah. And he would have faced almost everybody except for maybe Ruiz, if that's the case.
He will, but you know, the person Tyson is hard to beat because he's so big and he's skilled. But the thing is, if Tyson fights another boxer that boxes like him with power, I think he's in trouble then, because he won't be able to just smother somebody and, you know, punch somebody that's not defensively responsible. Much like the guy, I forget his name, the guy who fought F.A. Jabba on the undercard. Cuban Flash.
Oh, Sanchez.
Yeah. I think you give Sanchez another fight or two, I think he can go with Tyson Fury.
He look nice.
He's 6'4", 6'5". He ain't a little guy.
Yeah.
And he's the guy, comes out of Canelo's camp, trained by Eddie Reynoso, fights a little bit like Canelo. I like his chances in a couple more fights against Tyson Fury.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Was Tyson's gloves loaded?
He did not take the horsehair out of his gloves this time. He did not. I gotta give it to you.
Tell me, KG.
He didn't cheat this time.
He didn't cheat this time.
He didn't cheat
Not
this
time, baby.
He didn't cheat this time.
No, it was all him this time.
Right.
Look, man. There was some glove controversy in the beginning before the fight started too, with what they were using on his gloves. I forget the gloves he uses. I had it here.
Everlast, right?
No, that's Tyson or Deontay uses Everlast. It's a New England or a British made glove.
Okay.
But we'll have the font up there for you guys so that you can see it. But there was issues with I think it was 3 or 4 pairs of gloves they brought in the day before in regards to what kind of how it was stuffed in there, right?
Yeah, the padding.
The padding.
It had padding plus horsehair on it.
And it didn't look like there was much padding in the gloves, at least
Right.
what was told. But I mean, you saw him in the dressing room when he was getting wrapped up. They were there, and they were there in the second fight too.
Look, and listen, maybe Tyson Fury just has Deontay Wilder's number, much like Evander Holyfield had Mike Tyson's number, like Ken Norton had Muhammad Ali's number. There's just some fighters out there that they just got your number, man. You can't beat them. Anybody else that would have been in the ring with Deontay Wilder on Saturday night, I think Deontay would have beat him.
Yeah, with the heart he showed, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he would have beat him.
Absolutely. There is a quote here Mike Tyson did tweet out, and I think this was for most boxing fans in the world that watch this fight at least, and even fair weather fans, or novice. He put it. He said it well. It said here, Fury versus Wilder will go down as one of the greatest fights that we've ever seen. Not for skill, but for action and excitement. That fight was all guts, heart, and determination. Everybody won Saturday night. The fight was bigger than the hype, and both of them reached all-time great status.
I agree with it. Two Hall of Famers.
That's the fight in a nutshell for me.
You're right.
So, well said. A crazy fight of the year. 5 knockdowns, ends up with a knockout.
Right.
Tyson remains the WBC and lineal heavyweight champion of the world. And
I have to say congratulations, Gypsy King. I didn't want to say it.
There you go.
I didn't want to say it.
Give us some props, baby.
But congratulations,
There's
Tyson Fury.
only one Tyson Fury. I know I'm out of here. What? I had to do it one time. Hey, don't forget to visit us on the parleyshow.com. Again, check all of our links, social media, everything. I think I'll go watch these fights with you now, one by one, and we'll break them down.
All right.
We could do that. Now we could do it.
Yeah,
the trilogy
okay.
is over, baby.
Okay.
It's the Parley.
What's up, guys? Tilo from the Parley, Kendall Gill. If you like what you saw, follow, subscribe, visit us on our website, all that stuff. Do it. You know what I'm about to do right now, though?
What's that?
I'm about to go beat your record in 2K. 11 steals. 11 steals.
Just as long as you do it on 2K.
11 steals. Easy.
As long as you do it on 2K. Just don't do it on the court for real.
When I pull up on a hater, watch a hater fall back. I'm too good with these hands, watch a hater fall flat. If I die, all I know, I'm a fucking legend. It's so great for my city. I'm the realest one that's repping.